Hello, Julia.
Hello, Sophie.
Hello, Sophie.
It's the Sophie Parkin talk show. No, seriously, welcome. We wanted to talk about the show that we've put together, which is this around us. So it's 5 artists all talking about, with our art, about how it feels to be looked at and the female gaze back. And I had a conversation with a photographer just this weekend, and I was saying that what men don't realise when they're taking a picture of you is, though you might be exuding something of the reason why they're taking the picture of you, for whatever reason that is, that's not necessarily how you feel inside. And that we as women have been brought up to have a mask that we parade before the world. How do you feel about that, Julia?
Totally agree with you. I think my father used to take lots and lots of pictures of me from a very early age, and I used to perform for the camera.
Yeah.
So you do end up presenting a certain self, and you learn to smile for the camera, don't you?
And this was before social media.
Oh, totally, yeah. So, but I remember I loved being photographed by my father because it was attention. So, yeah, I think as little girls you learn to present yourself in a certain way, and you want to look pretty and you want to look happy. Yeah.
And you work out what makes them laugh. Adults laugh.
Yes.
And you do it over and over again until they say, "Can you please stop doing that?"
Yeah.
What about you, Lily? 'Cause you are a photographer, so but no doubt your family have taken pictures of you.
Yeah, definitely. I've always loved photography, loved performing. So since I was a young girl, remember going dancing. I used to dance, so everyone would come and look at us dancing and then compliment us.
Yeah.
But I remember that most of the time, girls were asked to dance and smile. And I wasn't necessarily smiling all the time. And I remember my parents telling me after the show that oh, you're good, but your friend was smiling and you're not smiling all the time. And culturally, in my country, original country, women have this. There are so many codes on how you have to behave. Like you have to, you have to smile, always show a nice face.
Yes.
In certain circumstances, and in others, you don't have to smile because then you're gonna attract attention.
Yeah.
So there are so many codes, understanding in different social spaces.
And are those social codes put in place by men or women protecting their children, or a mixture of the two?
I think it's a mixture of the two. Because if you smile on your wedding pictures, I mean, today things have changed, but I do remember asking my mom, why is it that the newlyweds are not smiling on their pictures, on their wedding pictures? And she was like, women were not to attract so much attention. Because I could see like lots of pictures of beautiful newlyweds. They were not smiling, like, you know.
Were the men smiling?
The men were not that. They were not smiling that much, but you could feel like women are naturally, you meet them and they're smiling and they're happy, but on their wedding pictures they were not smiling, and I found that a bit weird. And
Yeah.
I was told women didn't have to smile too much because then they attract too much attention.
Mm.
So I think it's a mixture
It's
of,
that wedding day. It's supposed to attract attention.
because it's a cultural thing, I guess.
Yeah.
It's it's a cultural thing. But as far as I'm concerned, I was lucky enough, I guess, to kind of have an open-minded environment where I could smile and just be myself, go to dancing, and
Yeah.
but I wanted to have control on to be myself. Let's say they are making comments on, oh, you're dancing but you're not smiling enough. It always unsettled me somehow. Like,
I do think the thing about smiling is I think I naturally don't smile, and I've had to learn to smile. You know, I'll smile if I'm happy, but I mean, in the 70s, living in London, you know, walking down the street and builders going, come on darling, smile, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just,
Yeah, but that is a continuous nag from men
yes,
to women.
yes,
Like
always.
all
I
our
had it the
lives.
other night,
What?
actually.
Somebody died?
Yeah.
Or maybe they
I
have.
had it last night, a man said that to me. He said, give us a smile.
yeah.
That was in a bar in London.
I hope you said, give us 20 quid.
Didn't think about that. But
You're
yeah.
going to be quick off the mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's I saw a video, a little thing just on social media the other day, and it was Meryl Streep with a whole load of directors, but everybody was a man except for her, and she was explaining, instead of mansplaining, she was womansplaining to them how it works in the world. And it works in the world that we grow up and we have to learn all the rules that men make for us. And so we learn them so well that we can speak that language. We even dream in it. And that's how you know that you can speak a language fluently, is because you dream in it. And men haven't had to do that.
But I think you don't even know you've grown up with that.
No, but
Just
that, I mean,
how
her
it
actually
is.
pointing that out, I thought was very pertinent and brave, because then Spielberg just tried to shoot her down with a cheap joke. And I just thought, yeah, and that is how you get treated. Even if you're Meryl Streep, at the top of your profession, career, there will always be a man who will shoot you down, and you will have to take it with good grace, because that's how you've been taught.
Yeah.
So you will laugh at that retort,
Exactly.
instead of standing up and saying, this is what I mean. You're just making an example of yourself. Yeah. So I think, when you make art which has women in it, all of this stuff is behind the painting. In that, in the male language, but also in the kind of hidden female language that is so hidden from that most of us don't even know what our language is.
Definitely.
It's a bit like, being Cornish, not being able to speak Cornish.
But it is actually, I went to the Wallace collection today, and I was looking at little miniatures of women and lovely Tudor portraits, and I started off painting Tudor portraits. That's how I got into painting these, and that's why they are quite mask-like.
That's weird. So did I.
Did you?
Yes.
Did you?
I did years ago. Yeah.
Oh, so it was really lovely to actually look at the original Hilliards and everything I was looking at. But again, those portraits were made for men. So, and the famous, is it Catherine of Aragon?
Yes.
her portrait was made to show Henry VIII what a lovely, beautiful woman she was. So he would marry her, although he'd not actually seen her. So when she turned up, he didn't like her, she was too ugly. But how those portraits are like mini adverts. And they were about selling the woman to the man and showing off their status, their wealth, the clothes they're wearing,
The jewellery,
the jewellery. Yeah.
the youth, the
beauty.
also to put rouge in their cheeks to make them look healthy, so
Yes.
it looked like they could give birth to lots of boys.
Yes. Yes.
And that
And
was
they were
the
putting
point.
lead white makeup on that went into their skin and actually killed them.
Yeah.
Eventually, it was poison.
Yeah.
So
I have another perspective on that as a black woman, especially like as an African woman,
yeah,
because I kind of feel like we lived in the moment more than in the presenting of the image.
right.
So photography, for example, is
Speak
something.
a little bit.
Photography is something that was presented to us, and was first of all used to show us, to show black people to the rest of the world. And the way I take pictures today is more about me redefining or showing what I know of myself and of other black women more, and I'm not trying to change the narrative intentionally, but it just happens because I see, for example, that the way I view women who are covered is different from the way they could be viewed in the West somehow.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I don't, like, I completely understand. Sometimes we think, like what you said about all those portraits that were made of women to show to men, you have physical evidence of it through art.
Yeah.
But we, on the other side, we don't necessarily have that because everything was in the moment. Like, you see, everything is happening live. You see people talking about how this woman is beautiful, how they exchange things
So
like
there
that.
were no images.
There were
created.
no images.
Right.
So everything is in the moment and in also like transmission through oral.
Yeah, but you would probably get to see the person.
Yeah, you get to
You'd
see
know
it.
them
Yes.
because they lived in your vicinity. You know, you weren't buying something from across the other side of the of the seas, were you, to marry?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's one thing to have it kind of fixed in time, like having, and one thing to kind of just have someone see someone, marry them the way they are, and then also accept the time passing, because art sometimes can also, let's say, let's speak of photography, can also fix a phase in time, and for people to kind of evolve with the age and things like that can be complicated. Because for me, picturing women is a good thing, but it's also something that I struggle with somehow, because I feel like I'm taking a specific moment of their lives, and sometimes because we are so told to look a certain way as covers, cover women, and sometimes I feel not guilty, but I feel like I'm imposing someone to look a certain way.
Do you
For a
photograph
long
people you know?
No, I photograph all of, like, different types of women, like people I know, people I don't know. And one of the projects I'm working on right now is I've been working on this since 3 years, is to take pictures of women walking and only their legs, because our faces are I mean, I want to show something else, like we are women in movement,
Yeah.
doing things, and not just like
Yeah, not just
the
the
Stationary.
face. Yeah,
Yeah,
stationary.
yeah.
And yeah, so.
But also when you're doing portraits of people, it's not just you're capturing that moment of what they're looking like, but also what they're feeling like. So and that too will pass. That feeling, you know, if they're happy at that moment, that too will pass. Just as that age will pass and they will progress on to something else. But I have thought about this a lot, about age and about time, and the fact that time, as I get older, I understand is not a linear process. We don't go from A to B and that's the end. But we carry all of those things within us. All that time is carried within us continually through our entire lives. So that when I met you, Julia, how old were you? 20?
30, I think, when we met.
Well, yeah, we were the same age, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the same age. Anyway, we were the same age. So, we met at the same age.
Yes.
And we were working in a bar,
Yeah,
weren't we? A
we
club, the academy. And I can remember what you looked like then, at that time.
Yes.
And I still look at you now and see that Julia.
Yes.
I don't see what maybe Annie, who's just met you for the first time this evening, sees as your face. But I remember you as this, you know, fresh-faced beauty. But I'm not saying that you're not not a beauty now,
Yes.
but you're a different type of beauty.
You're carrying on your memory.
And so that memory coats you for me. And I also know that, you know, sometimes when you smile, it would be the same smile or the same expression that your father would have photographed of you as a child.
Yeah.
Or indeed, how expressions carry on through family generations. Like, I know that I smile sometimes and I look exactly like my mum.
Yeah.
And I know my daughter smiles and she looks exactly like my mum or like me when we were little. And when I look at my daughter, who's now 32, I still can see her as the small child that toddles towards you. And this thing of time passing, I feel like it doesn't pass, we just wind ourselves in it like a cocoon. So we're within, our spirit is within, our soul is within this, and round here is all this wrapping.
It's like an essence, isn't it? It's an essence of a person. And then I know when I've met people that I used to know when I was 20. I met somebody not that long ago, and I knew him when I was 20, and now he's a 60-year-old man. And he recognised me, but I didn't recognise him at all. And I had to kind of peer into his face, and the eyes were the...
And peel it back, peel back those years of what he was like at 20.
To me, he just looked like an old man, and he said, "Oh, it's Paul," and I was like, "Oh." Once I looked into his eyes, I thought, "Oh yeah, it is Paul." But anyway, I think some people really look very different as they get older, and some people have a very, like, you've got very strong characteristics in your face, so I don't feel you've changed very much. And people say that about me, that I haven't changed as I got older, but I'm quite recognisable from when I was a child to now. I have a sort of wide mouth and little eyes.
But I also think that women, as they get older, tend to reveal more of themselves rather than less, because they don't have to put on that show anymore.
Absolutely.
You know, they don't have to try so hard. You don't doesn't matter if you wear high heels or not,
No.
I don't give a fuck anymore, do you? But there was a time when I thought, you know, if I wear high heels, I have been taught that you walk in a different way in high
Absolutely, and your
heels.
legs look
And
better.
that your legs look better and
Yeah.
you swing your shoulders and you have this.
But for who?
hello.
Yes?
Audience comment, I don't agree at all.
Oh.
No, as an artist, I think as I get older, the opportunity to transform by using what I wear, how I dress myself, how I perform in the world, greater confidence. It is the same as that kind of expansion, like a cocoon of the personality. David Bowie said just before he died that he became the person he was always supposed to be. He created that end product, that butterfly. But I actually think I do care, probably more as I get older now, because I don't want to concur with the male gaze. I don't want to concur with anyone else. I still want to challenge. I don't want to have a conversation where I believe that that people are mirroring me through the conditioning of their where they've been born and brought up, whatever culture or religion. I refuse that. I go, that is a cocoon of a mentality. So where's the butterfly that can come out? And then when I come out, this is to me what it is to be a creative. Otherwise it's accepting nature, but that's accepting what we've been told as much by our own narrative as by what comes to us. So I don't agree. I do care whether I'm wearing heels if I wear them. I'm going to wear them to make a statement.
Yeah,
if I wear
the same.
these boots, it's because they go well, but more with more confidence now. And I think every time I see you, Sophie, you're creating a different persona. And I wonder which Sophie is going to come into the room. You know, like I said to Judith when we were coming, it's like, I'm looking forward to seeing Sophie, you know, because you invited us.
Yeah.
Like, which Sophie is coming today?
Which Sophie is here today?
Well, you're the same Sophie for me.
Well,
Whether
I'm
you've
glad
got
to
a
hear.
green hat or
But
a
I
red
do,
hat.
I do feel since I stopped doing this, you know, since I gave up Vutturinis, is that, and now I'm cocooned in writing a book. So I'm very much in another world in my head all the time, because that's what happens when you write a book, because it's such, if you can't immerse yourself in it completely, you're not going to be able to finish it, because, you know, writing 90,000 words is a lot of writing to do, so you have to be completely in it. So to come out and to come here tonight, it's like I spent that entire day just in my bed writing on my laptop. I love that. I love that I can do that. I've got nobody telling me, what the fuck are you doing, Sophie? Just sitting in bed all day.
Yeah, but you're writing.
But I'm writing, and I really like my bed because I spent so much money on it. I want to get
Absolutely.
that full so comfortable. But so then I get dressed in what I find to be comfortable. It's raining outside, it's cold, it's not, I'm not trying to be anybody other than how I feel today. And that is what wasn't the case for me when I was a young woman and I was brought up to believe that you had to just
Smile.
that you had to smile,
Sit straight.
shoulders back,
Yeah.
bottom in,
Yeah. Definitely.
stomach in, stand tall, and smile.
Yeah. No man spread. No spreading of the legs and all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and you shouldn't actually,
you shouldn't cross your legs.
cross your legs either, because that's quite
Remember we
rude.
were told that at school, we were told how to sit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
some people went to the kind of schools where they were taught how to get in and out of a sports car without showing their knickers.
Absolutely. Well, Princess Diana did that. Princess Diana had to learn
slightly, you have to kind of go, and then
Yeah.
swing your legs. It's
Without opening your leg.
yeah.
Yeah, there is there
The
are
answer
lots
to
of
that is to wear
codes.
trousers, of course.
What?
The answer to that is to wear trousers.
Yeah,
of
but you
course.
weren't allowed to wear trousers, were you?
Yeah.
It was only in the late 80s that they allowed women to wear trousers into the Ritz. Did you know that?
I can believe it.
And the reason why, because I asked my mum, because she was a big advocate of the trouser suit in the 60s, because it was like,
So
she went to Paris, she did the shows for the first time, and she got given an Yves Saint Laurent suit. Don't worry, I've soon wrecked it for her in the end. Put badges all over it. Completely fucked. Anyway, she used to wear this black trouser suit, and the amount of places you could not go into as a woman in the 60s. And I said, why would they not allow in the 60s? Why would they not allow you?
The races.
Well, that
Really?
goes without saying. But I'm just talking about restaurants. Just restaurants or bars, or, you know, women were expected to turn up to cocktail parties in a cocktail dress. And that was a uniform. And anyway, so she said the reason why was because it was a sign that you were a lesbian. So basically, the Ritz was saying until almost the 90s, we don't want lesbians in here. Jeez, Louise. I know. And that is what I mean about the way that we're judged for how we appear.
But you know, I was just thinking about that, like school uniform. We all had to wear little skirts at school, and I think girls in school still have to wear skirts, don't they?
No, they can wear trousers.
Can they wear trousers?
Yeah, they can.
I was allowed to wear trousers in the sixth form. But
Oh,
that
in the
was
sixth form,
that
yeah.
that was at a state school, whereas
Yes.
I'd been at a GPDST school before that, and we were only allowed to wear skirts there.
Yeah.
It was a revelation going to this state school and being able to wear trousers.
Yeah. No, we could wear what we wanted in sixth form, but all the way up was horrible little pleated skirts.
Yeah, like kilts.
Yeah.
But pants in the winter in games, at a games field, as a kind of just starting your periods. Pants made up kind of like t-shirt material.
Do you mean knickers?
Yes, I mean
Yeah,
knickers.
yes, I
Yeah,
remember.
like
Big
knickers.
Yeah,
Big
big
knickers.
grey
Big
knickers.
Grey
Blue.
knickers.
Oh,
With
Navy
had-
blue we
thick
had.
we had
hockey
grey
socks
ones, yes.
and plimsolls, and we had to run around the council estate, around the field, in knickers,
Yeah.
like with your first pad on from periods, kinky or what.
We did that too. I remember my school was in Baker Street, and we had to, in a crocodile fashion, go across the main road, across Regent's Park, and we played netball and hockey in the park.
In
Did you have many men
In
looking?
pants. All